Welcome to the Rewards Master Live. This is our 18th live session, and I'm back home in the United States and excited to dive into it on this Sunday afternoon. So let's see who we have here with us so far. Looks like earlier today, DEM said, just gave us a wave. So hopefully he's going to be able to log back in with us here as we get going with the live stream. Mike Newland gives us a wave and also says Bengals are getting killed. I think Luke is at that game today. Yeah, Luke, Uncle Luke seems to be a big Bengals fan. I don't have that issue on Sunday afternoon because I'm a true Southern guy. So I'm a college football fan. So Saturdays are my busy day for football. So, all right. Mike from LA says, let's do this. Good to have you here, Mike. Oh, by the way, DEM and Mike Newland are both channel members. Thank you guys for your support. You guys are always here. I appreciate it so much. Mike from LA, you've been here a bunch of times too. And now another channel member is always so supportive. RC logs in and says, hey. And DEM, as predicted, he's back on with us. How's it going? Going good. Just glad to be back in the U.S. It was a fantastic trip. We went to, just to give everybody a rundown, I think if you tuned into my live last Sunday afternoon, it was a little earlier than normal because it was really late where I was. But we took a trip, 5 cities, 3 countries, counting the U.S., and did it in like 11 days. So it was kind of crazy. But we flew 3 different business classes, stayed in some awesome hotels, had some very great experiences. Because as I always say in this game, the way you get the most out of it, and by the way, our travel last week, if we'd paid for it all, was well over $35,000, and we did it all with points. So I probably spent out of pocket $2,000, maybe $2,500, something like that. So not too bad for a trip that would have been $35,000. Fly 3 business classes, stay in some great hotels. So we went to Abu Dhabi for a couple nights. We went to Dubai for a few nights. We went to Berlin, Germany from there, because that's where I found the deal. And then we went to Frankfurt, Germany, hadn't been there. So we came back to the US. So it was a great time, but I am tired and glad to be back in the good old US of A. All right, let me go back to the comments before we get into our topics for today. I know the topic I'd frame as a question, but Amex knocked it out of the park. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that because I'm frankly surprised. And I hate to do this, but sometimes I get one of my earliest videos was frustration at what we talk about on credit card, and I'm probably part of the problem, but credit card YouTube is not having, just running out of hearing the same things over and over and over. But sometimes there's a bandwagon that we can get on. And I tell you, I must have heard like 6 or 10 videos that were all about how the points, the premium credit card game is over. The golden age of points and miles is over and all that because of these high annual fees. And I found that really weird because, frankly, high annual fees, if you're really into this game, that's just par for the course. I mean, you're used to that. And I don't care. I'll pay a $2,000 annual fee for a card that gives me enough, but they just never do. So I think, yeah, the fee went up. We're going to talk about it. But I would agree with you. Knock it out of the park. All right. Sleepy Rod says Amex remains the king. Yep. I'm telling you, Chase threw down the gauntlet and Amex responded. They responded. So Joe NY Law says, good to see you. Thank you, Joe, for being here. Also a channel member. Appreciate your support so much. DM, hey, Rewards Master, did you notice that the 10X on hotels through the city portal for Prestige was extended through 12/27 from 12/25? Looks like the card is getting extended through 2027 at a minimum. Yeah, I actually cross my fingers. I'm hopeful, DM, since you and I are 2 Prestige loving guys. I'm actually very hopeful that they're just going to keep going with it. I mean, they've been doing it for years. And they've already got the system in place. They're not adding more of us. So, I mean, how much of a drain on them can we actually be? Since I just don't meet people that have the Prestige. In fact, we were chit-chatting with some people. We were doing some content in the airport in Frankfurt, Germany. And we were doing some content in the lounge. And some people said, are you a content creator? And they subscribed to the channel and all that. They might be watching right now. They were really, really nice people. But we got to talking about all of that. And, I asked them, I said, well, have you gotten into City? Well, we have. And I said, do you have the City Prestige? And they said, oh, yeah, we have that. We love that card. Turns out they had the City Premier because, the P names that can confuse people. But I just don't meet anybody with the City Prestige card ever. So I'm thinking maybe because there's not a lot of people with it, they've already got the infrastructure going. I'm hopeful that they're just going to let us keep that thing going. So I'm not going to use that 10X in the portal, though. I'll use the 10X in the AA hotels. And when I get to the status I want as far as my loyalty points with American, then I'm going to go to the 12X with the elite card because 12X is better than 10X. So, yeah. DEM also says, came back from Croatia last Friday evening too, with really bad food poisoning from the food I was served on my Virgin flight. Ooh, I'm sorry. We flew on Condor coming home. Food was good. In fact, every one of our business class flights had outstanding food. And I've heard people kind of talk bad about Condor. It was really good. I mean, I love the seat. There were some downsides. We'll be putting out a review soon, but it was good. I'm sorry you got sick, though. I hope that Croatia was fun, though. Welcome back. Thank you. You too. And Amex is the belle of the ball again, and apparently coupon fatigue gets erased with more coupons. Yeah. Wipe it away with more. Yeah. And higher annual fees. That's what's happening. They still offer the Prestige in Singapore. Oh, really? I bet it's not exactly the same, though. Usually overseas, they're not. Mike from LA, real question is whether Amex would have been nearly as generous for its refresh if Chase and also Citi to an extent hadn't really done them over so badly. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think that's really, and I'm going to address this. Oh, by the way, before I get to that, 10X with fourth night free for Prestige works really well. That's true. That's true. If you're using your fourth night free, that is a better deal overall. But when it comes to the idea of what Mike is talking about with this Amex and how they're a business. Okay. They're going to try to get as much business as they can, give as little as they can to make as much money as they can. That's the free market. And I get that. I don't even get upset at them about that. If I don't want to use their product, I won't use their product. I mean, there's no reason to be emotional about it. But the thing is all of these, voices, they're saying, well, the age of the premium credit card is over. I just don't think people understand the supply and demand economics that our nation's always operated under, that a capitalist free market operates under. The thing is that if stuff gets bad, then it will get good again. That's just the nature of finances. That's how it works. When your stock market portfolio drops, that's why you don't sell when it's low. Because if you do, you're going to miss out on the returns when it turns around. And when it comes to things like this, I mean, if a company, and I think Chase made some poor decisions with their refresh, like that edit collection. First of all, they don't have as many hotels on there. They should just have a general hotel credit. And the fact that they're making that 2 nights and Amex decided to not do that, they're getting destroyed in that. And so you know what's going to happen? Chase is going to change the card. I guarantee it. It might be a year or 2 years or whatever. They're going to have to, because what's the number of customers they can lose before they have to sweeten the deal to make it better again? That's the nature of supply and demand. And so the thing is that if something bothers us as a community, then just stop using that card. It's that easy. And if enough of us do that, then they'll make it good again. And then when everybody's doing well, then they'll try to milk out some more profits. And then again, the same cycle will happen over and over and over. So that's just the way that's always going to work. All right, we got a couple more comments here. Source King, good to have you here, Source King. I'm flying first class to Tokyo in December. 21.5 cents per point feels like a decent redemption. Well, let's see. 21.5 cents per point. Yeah, that is awesome. I mean, that is awesome. That's why, for me, that's what this game is all about. And I respect people who do it different, like Dugras, who wants everything to be free, but I am not cashing in points for 1 cent per point. In fact, sometimes people are like, well, didn't Citi do away? By the way, Citi did not do away with 1 cent per point cash redemptions if you have multiple cards, because on both my wife's account and on my account, she has the Elite, I have the Prestige, because we also have custom cashes and stuff, and we pool our points, then you can still cash them out 1 cent a point. But I have never cashed out at 1 cent a point, and I'm never going to cash out at 1 cent a point. I'm going to move into American Airlines and buy business class and get 5 cents a point or more. So yeah, that is what it's all about for me. Vincent Pascal, who's a channel member and great supporter, always here. Citi's ultra premium black card on the level of Amex Centurion outside the US is called Ultima. Oh, really? Interesting. Didn't know that. DM, anything north of 2.5 cents per point is a win for me. Yeah, and that's usually that's why I love American Airlines in Alaska, because I sometimes get 2.5 cents per point even on domestic redemptions with them. So really, really good stuff. And Sleepy Rod, I agree with you, but I think mergers kill the free market as monopolies rise, i.e. Capital One merging with Discover. Yeah, the only reason that might not kill us is Discover really wasn't in the same game. You know, they were a cashback card, and to me, those are very different animals. So I'm hoping that doesn't kill everything. But like, for instance, if Citi and Capital One merged, that would be disastrous, because that's one less direct competitor. So I don't know how that'll work out. All right. Let me go in and start into our content for today. So, I typically try to do 6 things on here, and I don't know that I've ever gotten through all 6 of them, but we try. But today I'm going to do something a little different, because, I'm a credit card YouTuber and I've been out of the country. So I didn't have the ability when the new official drop of the American Express new platinum mirror finish card came out. I wasn't in a place to be able to record that. So I'm home now, and I thought it'd be a good topic for today, since you've already seen 1,700 videos on this today. So I'll probably not give you nothing to do, but I'm going to give you the Reward Master's perspective on this, because it is a card that is not going to be a useful keeper card for me. Okay. But I think it's an awesome card. If you saw my video yesterday about the American Express Gold card, I think the American Express Gold card is an amazing card if you don't have this Citi Prestige card, which I do. And if you don't understand that, at least in my opinion, Citi points now with American and, Bilt points with Alaska are more valuable points than American Express membership reward points. So, but I do think that card is an amazing card. It's like, it has no purpose in my wallet. And that's kind of where I'm going to be on this thing. But I think I found a way, and actually a way to really benefit actually having the card. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So that's going to be under our new development section. No restaurant rewards today. Centerpiece is going to be kind of my strategy on that after in the new developments, we talk about the card itself. And then upcoming travel, not going to have any of that or rewards deal or status stuff. I'm just going to share with a little bit about the recent trip we had, have a few pictures there at the end. So that's what we got going for today. So before we dive in, let's see any more comments on here. What's good on this fine Sunday? Love your content. Thank you. NY Speed Star. All right. Good to have you here, NY. Thank you. I'm looking forward for next February 1st, first class direct flight from JFK to Hong Kong with Cathay Pacific. Only spent 106 United States dollars on taxes and fees. That's what it's all about. I don't know what kind of cent per point redemption you got on that, but I bet it's amazing. How much did it cost you? 85,000 points. What was the points price? If you feel comfortable, you can put that down there for us. All right, so let's dive in. Oh, by the way, again, if you hit the like button, it helps more people to come in here. Let's see how many folks have hit the like button. Looks like we have 11 likes so far, 32 people watching. That's pretty good. So if you hit the like button, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, that really helps out a ton. If you subscribe, that costs you nothing. And if you want to drop a super chat or super stick or anything like that, even 99 cents helps with the algorithm to draw more people in. So anything like that is greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, so let's dive into the new developments, which is what everybody is talking about this week, which is the Amex Platinum. All right. Now, again, I'm going to try to figure this thing out, but somehow my slides always get messed up, but hopefully we can parse through it here. But the cons for me of the refresh, and I'm going to go through some of the what I think are really good parts of the refresh, but these are things, this is just how I evaluate cards. The cons for me is I'm always, now there's never a con on a card. It's got a good bonus as a 1-year card for me. I mean, I have a lot of cards. My Alaska card, my Hawaiian cards. I mean, my aviator cards, all those cards that I've gotten this year are not keeper cards. But I separate out in my wallet and in my budget, in my spreadsheets, I separate out my keeper cards from just my bonus cards, cards I'm getting for 1 year to get the bonus. And most of the cards are in the bonus cards. But to be in the keeper category, my credit cards have to offer me something that elevates my lifestyle in a way that I value, or have to offer multipliers that give me back great rewards. Okay. And the fees have to be that I can get back most of my fees and this, that, or the other. So that's kind of how I determine it. So that's been my 2 categories before. We have the keeper cards for, either lifestyle or because of bonuses, usually on the multipliers. On the multipliers, that's why I have an almost all city set up with a few little exceptions. So I have that. And then I have a lot of cards that I get just to get the bonuses. Okay. So with this card, as I'm evaluating it under that framework, it has useless multipliers. I mean, absolutely useless multipliers. There is nothing that I could spend using the Amex Platinum card on and get a better return. Nothing. Zero zippo. It gets 1x on everything. And you say, yeah, but you can get, well, first of all, 5x on hotels through the portal. Yeah, yay. City gives 12x on hotels through the portal with the elite. So, I mean, that's just, the Venture X gives 10. So big deal. And then 5x on flights direct. Now, I understand for some people that might be really good, but I have the Prestige card and it gives 5x city points, and I value city points more than I do members. Now, I like membership reward points. I think they're good, but city points in my evaluation are better. They're significantly better because American Express does not have a good American or domestic partner. They just don't have a good domestic partner. They have Southwest and they have Delta. And I know you can buy domestic tickets through, foreign programs and this or the other, but why go to that trouble when I can get 5x on city points that give me American, and American are super, super valuable. So it has useless multipliers. This card has no multiplier I would ever need or want to use. So that's definitely a pretty big con as far as moving into the keeper category. And then it has occasional lounge access. Now, when I say occasional, I have a lot of lounge access, but I've traveled a lot more than a lot of people. I mean, because here's some of the folks on here talk about lounge access, and it's like, okay, yes, this lounge is better than this lounge, but you gotta go 45 minutes across the airport to get to the thing. Who has time to do that? People who travel twice a year just for vacation, not people who travel for work or consult or all that. I mean, so that's just like, so would there be times I could use I'm not going to use their Delta lounges because I'm not going to fly Delta most likely anymore. Now that I've decided to change my kind of split system, and I'm going to go straight American. So on my domestic stuff. So I'm not going to use that. I mean, I get access to the priority pass in other ways. So it's just the Centurion lounges. I like Centurion lounges, but I promise you this, if I start heading towards the Centurion lounge and there's a line, I ain't going. I'm going to hop into the American lounge, or I'm going to hop into priority pass or whatever's there, escape lounge, whatever. I mean, I'm just not going to do it. I do not wait at lounges. I mean, I'm not doing that anymore. That is just, to me, that defeats the entire purpose of that. So occasional lounge access, that's what it's going to be. And then my second least favorite partners. So when I say, I know that's a weird way to say it, but second least favorite. So my favorite partners are with Citibank, because I just think they have great partners. And then I love that they have American. Well, I guess my favorite partners would be with Bilt. And then it would be with Citi, because they have the best ecosystem now in my estimation. And then after them would probably be Chase, because I mean, let's be honest, Chase does still have Hyatt, and Hyatt's very, very good. Then would be American Express membership rewards, and then pulling up the rear would be Capital One, because Capital One, I mean, they have some good ones. You could transfer them to airplane, all that, but still, compared to the others, they just aren't quite as good. So that's all the downsides. I'd be curious what you think about that list of cons for me. I'm just trying to evaluate honestly. Now I'm going to get to the positives in a second and how I think I'm going to use this, but I don't know. I think an honest evaluation is, I think people have to ask the question, how's this card going to fit for me? And is it a keeper card? Is it worth it? Especially when you have lounge access in like 8 different ways, then it's just not, so I'm going to keep a card that I would never need a multiplier on just to have it. That's the question that's got to be asked. Okay. So let's go back. Yeah, we got a lot of comments on here. All right. So Sleepy Rod updating us on his upcoming flight. I think it was to Hong Kong or Cathay Pacific. Says SFO to Singapore for 60K points, premium economy. Is that worth it? Chris Flyer has I don't know. I haven't flown that far in premium economy. 60K, the last premium economy I had was from Paris to Houston, and that was on Air France. It was a nice flight. It was a really nice flight. It really was. It was 35K. So Singapore's, I mean, that's a lot farther. I don't know. I would think that wouldn't be terrible. 2 cents per point. That would be kind of the floor of what I'd be willing to do if I couldn't find anything better. In NY Speedstar again says it was 106 Asia miles and transferred MR points and Capital One miles last month. And one-way cash price for first was $18,000. I think you did good. I'd do it. I'd spend 106K on that in a heartbeat. Sounds great. Typo, it's 160K. Oh, okay. Well, that's getting more expensive, but still, you're talking first, not business class. All right, DM. I've had the Platinum since 2018 and use it mainly for the car rental status, lounge access, travel phone protections. Also says, otherwise, I'm all in on City. Still come out ahead on the Platinum annual fee, even with the authorized user. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's hard. If you're a person who keeps spreadsheets and plays this game hard, I mean, it's an easy win now. I mean, it just is. NY Speedstar says, I always find the U.S. American Express Platinum is so much more affordable compared to international versions. Yeah, all of our cards are better because the interchange fees are allowed to be higher here. So that's the way I understand it. It's really just a coupon book for me. That's all it is. Juan Garcia, channel member, good to have you here. Juan says, agree. Amex hit out of the park with the refresh on the Platinum, where they added increased credits. However, CSR is the better earning card for its multipliers. That's absolutely true. There's no doubt. It's a better card. I mean, a lot of people are pushing this Amex Platinum, and I do think it's got its benefits. And I have a specific reason why I think I'm going to have one or more than one, maybe up to 4, and I'll tell you how in a minute. But I think as a keeper card, it just has such bad multipliers. I mean, and they didn't fix that part at all. And then NY Speedstar says it's still sad that the Amex corporate program discount never increased for the Amex Gold and Platinum after they refreshed. Gold is $100 annual fee discount, Platinum $150. Yeah, I've never had that, but yeah, I understand how that'd be disappointing. Cesar, good afternoon. Hey, Cesar, good to see you. Looking forward to the meetup in a couple of months, getting to see you in person. 521 Taipei. You're the first person to start with the cons. Every YouTuber is praising the Platinum because they want the referral links. The card makes you spend thousands to save a few hundred. I picked up an ink. Yeah. You notice I really don't do a lot of referral links. Every now and again I do, but I just really want my content to be free of that influence. I don't need an income from YouTube. I mean, whatever the ad revenue is and whatever kind things y'all give me on the super chats and things is great. And if I get somebody's to use a a referral every now and again, that's great. But I don't want it to influence my content, because I was always frustrated before I became a YouTuber. I was always frustrated because I always thought Citi. You know what's hilarious is that I hear people all the time now tell me, man, I wish I had the Citi Prestige card. Well, then why was everybody dogging on the Citi Prestige card when it was still available? Because when I got it in 2021, nobody was saying it was good. But I mean, I hate to be real about it. I don't know people's motives, but Citi does not pay any referrals. They don't. They don't really have affiliate linked payments and stuff. I mean, they just don't. So, I mean, why push them? Well, I'll tell you why to push them, because to my audience, I think it's the best. I've run the numbers. It's the best, and I've used it through experience. So yeah, I mean, I want to be honest about these things, and I'm not down on the new American Express Platinum. I think it's better, a lot better, and I'm going to tell you why it's got a good use. But I'm trying to say everybody's got to learn to evaluate for themselves what actually works, rather than just being on a hype about things. That's why, like, for instance, the Atmos card. I think the Atmos card is awesome for a lot of people, but it's not the greatest airline card that ever came down. I heard a lot of people kind of talking like that. It's the greatest airline card ever. Well, yeah, I guess so. But what are you going to do when you start running out of points with Alaska? Because they are really hard to earn. And then how are you going to use that? I mean, to get your annual feedback, you've got to use that companion certificate, but you got to fly too as a points flyer. Well, what happens when on year 2 or 3 or 4, you're out of points and the multipliers aren't good in the US? How are you going to have points? So, I mean, that to me is like, yeah, you got to evaluate these things all the way through. So I do appreciate that 521, because that's what I try to do. And that's not shade on anybody else. I think we have a great community of YouTubers. I'm just not trying to make a living at it. So I just do it different. All right. Juan Garcia says, you mentioned valuing Citi points over MR points. Are you comfortable going all in with Citi, even for international travel, and rolling the dice on Citi freezing cards on purchases abroad? Well, I just got from abroad, and I went from Abu Dhabi all the way to Berlin in Europe, and I talked to him. I called him just to make sure on the phone, and I used my wife's Citi Elite card the whole time to get our bonus knocked out, and I used my Citi Prestige. Never had a single issue, not one. But I did carry a backup. Actually, I carried 2. I carried our Hyatt card as a Chase card. Never have an issue with Chase card, and I also carried my Bilt card that I never had an issue with. So. Yeah, if they freeze it up, then I'll fix it. But so far, I didn't have any trouble on this trip. But that's a good thought, Juan. Thank you. Cesar, fist bump. Cesar, that Amex Platinum gives me 80,000 points just by expending 3,000 every year. For those that know how to play the Amex game, the credits are just icing on the cake. Yep. And that's what we're kind of going to talk about here in a minute. Cesar says, hello to Juan. And then Joe in New York says, New York Law, good to have you back, Joe, channel member. I mainly use Delta flying for work, paying cash and getting reimbursed, using Flying Blue and Virgin for 1 or 2 international trips from New York. In that case, what do you think about Amex Trifecta? Yeah, I mean, yeah, if that's your case, Virgin, you could use any trifecta for Virgin. I mean, they're a transfer partner with everybody out there. I mean, they are promiscuous as a transfer partner. They will connect with anybody on that. But Delta, if that's what you fly and that's what you need to fly because of your hub or whatever, then Amex, it makes sense. It makes sense, especially to get into their lounges with your Amex Platinum. So yeah, Joe, I think that's not a bad thing. That's why I say everybody's got to be able to evaluate for themselves, because everybody's situation is different. Cesar, I don't need another 3X dining card, CSR, for hotels. I use the hotel card. The good things, the CSR was 3X on all travel and 1.5X all travel redemptions. Now it became weaker than Amex Platinum coupon. Yeah, I agree. I like the new Amex Platinum better myself. Sleepy Rod, I agree without a doubt that AA miles are better than Delta miles. But if I fly from East Coast to West Coast, it's maybe 8,000 AA miles versus 25,000 Delta miles. I think it's easier to get 25,000 Delta miles. Really? That'd be true on sign-up bonuses, yeah. Amex, man, you can rack up points, but for me on everyday spend, I get a lot of city points. So they're easier for me. My city trifecta produces more than the American Express trifecta produces. It just does. So to me, they're easier to rack up. So NY Speedstar, I love your transparency and being real with your audience. I appreciate that very much. Appreciate that very much. Vincent said, the only plat I've ever held is the business. That's me too, by the way. Going to get the personal at some point. The credits used to be easier to manage than the personal. It's nice to have 35% MR rebate, even after nerfing, and ability to cash out at 1 cent per point on the card. Yeah, I've never really used the 35%, even though I've had the card a couple of times, just because it still only gives you 1.54, and I'm usually trying to get better than that. DEM, same here. Hit my elite sub overseas with no issues other than city nights not working for me due to the time difference. Yeah, I stopped trying to figure it out because I'm like, oh, I'm in city nights. No, I'm not. So I stopped figuring it out. So I just used the prestige on dining. Worked great. Used it on everything else. Double animal fries. Good to have you here. Double. Hey, just joining. What would make the platinum a keeper for you? Getting ready to talk about that. And RC channel member, great supporter, $1.99. Thank you so much. Like I said, that's a great boost to the channel. I'm always humbled by that. And it does help the algorithm. So RC, I appreciate that very, very much. And everybody else, if you would, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit that. And if you do give a super chat, super sticker, even if it's just as low as 99 cents, that helps the algorithm as well. All right, I want to talk about not just, those are the cons. So let's talk about the positives. And these are big time positives for me. However, it's difficult for me to say, how's this going to be a keeper card if there's literally nothing that's just me not couponing it up? That's what it is. But on the couponing it up part, it's pretty awesome. I mean, at least in my estimation, because that's $600 FHR. They did that to absolutely smack Chase across the face, because this says, oh yeah, your edit credit. Let's show you. I'm going to show you a credit slap. I mean, this is the throwing down the gauntlet. $300 twice a year FHR, one night stay. That is awesome. And then you get all the benefits and a lot more hotels to choose from. It's just great. And then, I mean, we all know the annual fee. If you don't know that, if you haven't watched 18,000 videos on this yet, it's $895. So you're getting $600 back with the FHR. And these are things I would get back. Okay. And I hear people all the time in their videos are like, yeah, but it's really, I'm only counted as 400. No, I'm going to get the 600 back because I'm going to easy spend. Well, I spend out of my pocket several $1,000s a year on hotels. So that's how I play the game. I pay for my hotels, get my credits and all that. And then I use points for high dollar flights that I don't want to pay for. So that's kind of how I do it. $400 Resi quarterly 100. Now you might know, because I've talked about this on the live, I'm getting rid of the Delta card, the Delta Reserve card, because my Resi restaurant stopped doing Resi in my local community. But I don't mind this one because it's quarterly. And I could promise you, I'm going to be somewhere. I can get in the car and take my wife on a nice date to a neighboring city 4 times a year to get that $100. No problem. No problem at all. And let me tell you, that lady, she likes to eat at nice places. So that's no problem whatsoever. $200 airline credit, put it in the travel bank. I'm good. No problem there. $200 Uber, no problem. Order Grubhub. I'm good with that. Excuse me. $300 digital entertainment credit. Yeah. We'll just put we already have Disney Plus and all that. And then now they have YouTube on there. So that's pretty awesome. And then Uber One, I've never had that, but hey, I'll take it. I mean, I'll just have them deliver it to my office for free and not have to go and pick it up at lunchtime. That'll be great. And then one thing I don't have on here, and another thing that irritates me, is that I think a pro for me is Walmart Plus. Right now it's being paid for by my business gold card, but ultimately I'm going to upgrade that business gold card or whatever. I like Walmart Plus. Why do people talk about that being a dumb credit? It's a great credit. First of all, you get cheaper gas. Number 2, you get free Whoppers like 4 times a year. And I know people are like, well, why would anyone want a free Whopper? Because it's a free Whopper. I mean, who cares? I mean, I guess people don't like hamburgers, but you get that 4 times a year. And then, but here's the thing. You get Walmart free delivery to your house. And I know people are like, yeah, but this is but why would they market a card? I just saw a video recently. Why would they market a card marketed to wealthy people and have a Walmart credit? Because a lot of wealthy people shop at Walmart. Now, I know not everybody does, but I mean, probably every farmer in the country shops at Walmart. And if you don't know this about farmers, there's a lot of wealthy farmers, right? I mean, in other words, the only wealthy people don't live in New York City. The only wealthy people don't live in Chicago or Miami or LA. That is not the nature of our economy, okay? And Walmart, it is, I mean, if we didn't have American economy probably wouldn't survive without Walmart. I mean, it's the largest retailer. And it is a place where if you live anywhere outside of the big urban areas, Walmart is like a lifeline. I mean, where I live, no one will, Kroger won't deliver to my house. Walmart will, even though they have to send somebody 25 minutes from the nearest Walmart to get to my house. But they deliver here, and I get cheaper gas, and I get Paramount Plus for free. I mean, I don't know why people think it's a bad thing. It's cool. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So I think it's pretty good. All right. Let me go back to some of the comments. Again, RC, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that so much. Filmo, always here. Filmo, appreciate to have you here. I haven't spent $1 on a card that wasn't during a sign-up bonus in over 3 years. So multipliers aren't a thing for me. Yeah. I mean, that's the way to get ultimate cents per point. That is it. That is it. All right. New again. Good to have you, New again. Hot take. I plan to downgrade my personal plat to green and upgrade my business green to plat, or better, do a business plat app for 300 to 350 MR subs. Yeah. I mean, you can crank out the membership reward points if you do the game right with them. And that's what I'm getting ready to talk about, what I'm planning to do. DEM. The city app has a timer that lets you know when your city night's window. Yeah, I know that. I just wasn't paying attention to that all the time overseas. Vincent, I enjoyed your Amex Gold video. It's another card I've never held, but I've held the business gold and it's been useful. Yeah. It's hard because I think they're both really good cards because the business gold, that Forex, but it is easier to get your full annual feedback on the personal, I think. But it depends on what your spending looks like. New again, everyone's spiking the ball, but it's not over. Chase is adding travel related value to the CSR, and people like me are paying close attention. Yeah. I mean, I think Chase is going to respond. They're going to have to, and that's good for us. I mean, competition is good for us. DEM, I'm using 2 Walmart Plus credits from Business Gold and Platinum, one for Peacock, one for Paramount Plus. Frees up $25 a month credit for YouTube Premium. Yep, that's awesome. I'm telling you, the Walmart Plus thing, it's got some benefits. It's not bad. It's Walmart. It's their way to try to compete with Amazon and Amazon Prime. That's what it is. NY says, I like Walmart Plus membership too, especially when you drive a non-EV cars. Oh, yeah. And where I live, nobody drives an EV car. So, I mean, it's just, we don't have charging infrastructure. So, Juan says, new again, same here, but while Chase is playing at checkers, Amex plays chess. It seems that way. Double animal fries. Everyone here fiddling with multipliers while Filmo is getting the real value with the subs. Yeah. Travis Travels. After they released the card, they hiked up the prices for FHR rates. They're taking the Chase model of significantly overpricing hotels through the portal. All right. That's something I'm not aware of. So I'm going to have to look into that. So maybe that's going to be the downside. I will say people said that about Citi. And when I got the Elite card, I have not found that to be true. And even in the American Airlines hotel portal, that people say, what's overpriced? It is on certain brands, but strangely enough, not on Marriott brands. That's what I have found to be true. So it's kind of your miles vary very type thing. Sleepy Rod, I think Amex with Rakuten should not be discounted. Yeah, Rakuten's very good. For me, I would use the AA shopping portal instead of Rakuten because I find it to be better and more valuable points in my opinion. Juan Garcia, I use the analog Amex equals Apple and Samsung equals Chase. Personally, I'm a Samsung guy. Amex equals Apple, Samsung equals Chase. personally, I'm a Samsung guy. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Sleepy Dim says, Sleepy Rod, the Rakuten card is perfect for that. And Cesar says, the gold card gives me 30,000 points, $200, 209 in clear credit, 120 Uber, 120 Dining, $100 Resi, and 84 Dunkin'. Yep, that's what I used to get too, except that I never swiped the card for anything except just to get those credits, and that's why I ended up canceling. Gold gives you clear. Well, the business gold gives you, does it? No, gold doesn't give clear. No, business gold gives the Walmart Plus. No. So Sleepy Rod, 100% agree. Double animal fries says many people earn more MR on Rakuten than Amex cards. That's true. New again. Juan of Chase was smart. Don't play either. Was smart. Don't play either. It needs to play its own game. At $900, Plat isn't all that for a frequent traveler like me. I don't need retail junk coupons. I need travel value. Yep, I get it. Cesar DEM, downgrade to green, use the credit, upgrade back, get 30,000 points after 1K. That's what I'm going to talk about in a minute. Says DEM says, oh. And he also says, I downgraded my gold to green, waiting for an upgrade offer, but we'll see. All right. That kind of is a good segue in the next section. By the way, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you do any kind of super chat or super sticker, even a very small one, that helps the algorithm as well. So thank you. All right. So cons, talking about the business card now, because this one's pretty important to me because I've had the platinum business card, and I currently have two gold business gold cards that I have a sitting upgrade offer to the platinum business card right now for 120,000 points for $10,000 in spend. That's a pretty good offer. So I'm debating it right now. So, but the business card is different. Okay. The cons for me, again, are some of the same. Useless multipliers. I mean, it has worse multipliers because it doesn't even have the direct with a airline that the personal one does, but it does have the 2x on some things. Like for me, it would be home improvement stores. The problem is I have one of my city custom caches devoted to home improvement stores, and that's 5x that are American Airlines miles. So, you know, that's it would never compete with that. So useless multipliers. Occasional lounge access again. Second least favorite partner, like I said. And then here's the other one. The phone credit doesn't work. AT&T had the AT&T fiber, and then we switched over to a different one. And somehow now mine codes, and I tried everything. I mean, I called American Express. I tried putting partial payments on there. I even went into AT&T and paid through the machine. And I have never gotten a credit. I cannot get a phone credit on that. So it's like a useless nothing credit. I mean, it's worthless. So, I mean, those are cons. The positives are 600 FHR, just like on the personal, 200 Hilton. I'm always going to use those 200 Hilton, 200 airline credit, and $150 Dell. I know you can get $1150 Dell if you spend $5,000. I ain't spending $5,000 at Dell. So, I mean, but that's still more than the annual fee, but not as much more as it would be on the personal card. So that leads me to my centerpiece. Now, let me go back to a few comments before I dive right into that. Okay, Cesar says, Dem, no need to wait. Just look for the card you want and accept the offer. Okay, Cesar, charge cards are now only valuable for downgrade, upgrade play, assuming Amex still wants to play. Yeah, that's a big assumption. Cesar disagrees, but they are easier to justify because of that. Yeah, that's true. Cesar, I don't have any offers to upgrade at the moment in my app, just business gold to platinum. Juan says, at New Again, I agree. Chase needs to play its own game and recognize that Amex is another level. I wouldn't say another level. That kind of sounds, depending on how you interpret it, like a better level. I would say it's playing a different game. Like, I think the Venture X is playing a different game. And I think the City Elite's playing a different game. The City Elite is different. I mean, it's different. And so I think that that's what's going on. But he says my annual fee on CSR renews October 1st, hopefully at 550. So I'll try the new benefits. Okay. Cesar says go to the web page. I guess it's different than the app sometimes. Sleepy Rod, Amex with Rakuten, Capital One with Capital One offers. I think beats natural spending earning with other banks. Regular 12x multipliers with Rakuten or Capital One offers. Yeah, but don't forget don't forget the AA shopping portal. If you value AA miles, that's sometimes outstanding, and you get loyalty points. New again, it says other than subs and upgrade offers, I can get what Amex gives from other issuers methods at a much less cost. Days of Amex mailing cool free stuff has been long over. Yeah, I remember those days. And Memphis Mike, good to have you here, Memphis. No, I would say another level. Amex made a statement with this refresh. Yeah, that's true. But what I'm saying is Chase could have went in a different direction and had maybe something that's a keeper card, have great multipliers and things, and not try to be that super, super hard to recover. I mean, really, a lot of people were fine paying $550 and just getting $300 back. And they were making $250 on even the people who use the credit, and then giving good multipliers, and everybody was happy. So it was kind of a different thing. Cesar, it works for me, new again. And then double. I agreed. Rewards Master comparing the cards as objectively better versus worse is kind of pointless. What matters is what's useful to you, right? Because everybody's situation is different, and you just want to get great value for yourself. So this is my center point. So my new card category. I told you that I have these categories of keeper cards and bonus cards. So I have the cards that, because of either lifestyle, so it might be like, for instance, I don't keep the Citi Executive AA World Elite MasterCard because it's a good earner. It's not a good earner, except on American Airlines hotels, it gets 10x, but it's a terrible earner. But that is a lifestyle card. That card gives me unlimited access for me and two guests to American lounges. And I've already been in 40 American Airlines lounges this year. I mean, so yeah, that's a lifestyle card for me. And it gives, loyalty points. So, and it gives the 2 loyalty point boost. So that card, I don't justify the annual fee through credits and things, because I'm justifying it through the benefits that I'm getting. And it's not about multipliers, but I have the Citi Prestige card because that card, I keep it. It has incredible multipliers. I have the Citi Custom Cashes, great multipliers along with that. I mean, those are good cards in that way. I have the Ink Cash card because I have my phone bill set up on that. I get 5x on that. It's basically the only Chase points I earn these days. So I have those cards. Those are keeper cards for me. And then I have bonus cards, and I'm working on a sign-up bonus on one right now, a Hawaiian card. I'm going to keep that card a year, get my 80,000 points, and then I'm dumping that card because I have no use for that card to pay the annual fee ongoing. You understand those two categories. Like we said, Filmo earlier said he's basically just in the bonus cards. He's just churning them just to get, and that is a great strategy. If you can keep it up and it doesn't outpace your spend, then that's a good deal. But I'm going to create, I think, a new category in the middle for me. And this may work for you, it may not. And that's fine. But my new category in the middle I'm going to create is Amex Points Parade, because Amex is the only issuer I know that will constantly try to get you to go back to a better card and pay you to do it through points. And so, like for me, I'm getting to the point, I've had almost every card. So it's like, how am I going to keep this up ongoing? I know once you've had it for 4 years, then you can apply again, this, that, or the other. But it's nice to have a way to keep getting more and more points and not having to get more and more cards. And with Amex, you can do that. And I know there are those who do this with Hilton cards. There are those who do this with Delta cards. And I'm going to downgrade my Delta card and probably work my way back up through it, even though I'm not really excited about Delta points. But still, they're really good about that. But they're good about it with the Amex card. So when it comes to, like, if you have a gold card, they're most likely going to give you an upgrade offer to a platinum. And if you have I have a business gold card right now. I have 2 business golds and a business green. And I only downgraded to the business green solely to have something that they would offer me an upgrade. And they haven't yet on the business green. But on my business gold, they've offered me 120,000 point upgrade, spend $10,000 in 3 months back to the Business Platinum. And so I've already demonstrated the Business Platinum is one I can get for net free, actually a little bit back in my pocket, pretty easy. And I'm getting 120,000 points for that spend. And then I'll just downgrade it again and do that again and again and again and again. So the thing is that I struggle because I'm really kind of very analytical about this. And so cards say they fit in one or the other. Well, these cards don't really fit in either one because they're not a card that I'm going to keep long-term to be part of my regular setup. And they're not a card that I'm just going to get and then cancel. Now they're in between. They're a downgrade, upgrade card. So I'm calling this in my own setup, the Amex Points Parade. And it's kind of what I'm going to try to do. So that's kind of where I'm at on it. My rationale on this is that the once in a lifetime language limits me. I have never had a regular American Express Platinum. Had Business Platinum, as I said. Nona have never, my wife has never had that. So we're both going to be able to get that and then be doing upgrading and downgrading. So we can do that. They have constant upgrade offers, at least for right now, unless they change it, which American Express, their basic strategy, they kind of stay the same. So I'm hoping they won't. There's no credit pulls or new cards on your account. So if you wanted to like right now, I couldn't get a Chase Ink card no matter what, I couldn't get one, but it'd be nice to be able to get one, but I never was going to just hold back because of that 524 business. But this could give me an ability to still be churning points, still be building points, and still have some control over that a little bit. And it's a reliable source point. It's a reliable source of points. It seems to have been in the past, at least for me. And that's kind of what Cesar was saying. It's a pretty reliable source of points. And then you're not subject to the pop-up jail, which is so frustrating because, I remember I was in pop-up jail and then I went and I upgraded a card and they let me, even though I was in pop-up jail. So that's been my experience, at least with it. So those are kind of my rationale as far as what I'm wanting to do and where I want to go. So let me go back to some comments. Again, like and subscribe. Also, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't so far. That helps me. And then if any super chats, super stickers, that helps the algorithm also. And thank you to RC for already dropping one today. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see. New Again said the Elite makes sense for a certain niche and is sustainable. Venture X annual fee definitely going up at least $5.95 in 2026, likely with coupons. Yeah, maybe, unless Capital One just decides we want to be totally different, because I still think they seem to be doing okay being totally different than everybody else. So I kind of hope they continue with that. As far as the Elite, yeah, I think it's a better card than a lot of people are giving it credit for. I mean, I've just used it. In fact, I used the Black Lane credit on my trip and it worked awesome. So I got a much nicer car ride and it cost me it was $109. So it cost me $9. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. RM, do you see the Elite as a keeper for you after year one? As of now, and times can change and my mind could change, but as of now, yes. Because if it were mine, no, because I have the Prestige. But it's in my wife's name, and it's my Players 2's card, and she doesn't have American Airlines access to the clubs, and that card gives her those four certificates, which is perfect for her because most of the time she's with me, so it doesn't matter. But every now and again for work, she's flying by herself or something, and not with somebody with access, and she'll call me and say, do I have access to a lounge here in this airport? And I'm like, looking, is there a priority pass lounge close? And there's not, but there's an American lounge. Well, I'll just go in the American lounge. I said, baby, you can't, not if you're not with me. And so this makes it where on those times she can. And I like the 12X on hotels through the portal. I like it. And I really like City Nights. I think, and I know this is unpopular opinion because everybody says it's stupid and terrible, but I think City Nights is one of the coolest innovations of any credit card, and I'm going to slam that. It is a 6x dining card for me. You know why? Because for years, I've been doing gift cards through things like Built on the first day of the month. Well, I just suddenly got a Built card that has 8 times a month with rent day. That's what I got with the Elite, 8 times a month instead of once. And so I just, during city nights, I get on the United Mileage Plus X app, buy gift cards for all the restaurants we like to eat at, and I just got like 11 points per dollar on my dining. It's awesome. I think it's a great card. And then 1.5x on everything else. It is a good, everything else card. It's a good base card. It is. I mean, and if anybody says it's not, then you got to say Chase doesn't even have one, because that's all they have is a 1.5x. And 1.5x City points, I'm sorry, in my estimation, are worth more than 1.5x Ultimate Reward points because of American. So that's kind of where I'm at on it. All right. So that's my answer, DEM. Cesar, I've been playing the downgrade and upgrade Amex Play for almost 4 years, and it's unbeatable. Yep, I'm looking forward to joining the club, Cesar. If I need advice, I'll ask you on it because I'm excited about that. DEM $4.99, thank you. I appreciate it so much. That supports the channel and helps the algorithm, helps more people to log in. We have 49 people on here. That is awesome. 49 people. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Joe NY Law, 99-cent super chat. Thank you, Joe. Both he and DEM are channel members as well. I appreciate that support very, very much. DEM says, I use the Black Link credit too. Way better than Uber Black. Oh, yeah. They were standing add baggage claim with my name, and they wait up to an hour with no fee. That's pretty good. It's pretty cool. I mean, I like it. I like it. Okay, double. Does City care about LOL 24 for approvals? I think they have a 624. Somebody who knows the answer to that can answer it, but I think they have a 624, something like that. But I've never had an issue with City, but I put a lot of money on City cards, so maybe they just like me, but never had any issue. RC says, good to hear, DEM. I've been wondering. All right. DEM, double. You can't just apply for more than one card every 8 days from what I've read. Okay. Joe, I agree 100% on your take on City Nights. Yep. It's good. It's I mean, I don't know why people hate it. Why do they hate that? It's 6x 8 times a month on the nights that you're most likely to eat out, or at least most people. City Nights is great marketing. I actually think it's great that City is thinking out of the box. That's what everyone is asking for banks to innovate. And I like that they did that for the CSE. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why everybody's not just gushing on them. I just don't get it. I mean, I was thinking, I have a City Prestige card, and I thought they were going to make me get this new thing. And I was, if you saw my videos back then, I was really upset about it. I mean, like just distraught. And then the City Elite. Now, I don't want to have to switch to the City Elite, but it would not be as disastrous as I thought it would be. It's a good card. I mean, I think it's the best of the Elite cards, honestly, of the top level cards. But that's how much I think of American points. So it's a good earner. Sleepy Rod, don't get me wrong. City points are extremely valuable. I just think they're harder to accumulate than Capital One and Amex. Yeah, I guess it depends on what kind of spender you are. And I mean, for everyday spend, for multiplier spend, I think City is easier. For getting sign-up bonuses, well, definitely not Capital One, but Amex for sure. So yeah, I guess it depends on what you spend on, how your spending habits are. New again, Cesar, Amex MR points is the game, more so if you're in international travel nowadays to fully benefit. But Chase has a lot of cards and will let you keep getting more inks if you do it right. Yeah, but I think that's changing. I mean, I'm hearing reports all the time, New again, that Chase is tightening down. I mean, I'm not sure Chase is not going to become the new, I don't know who's a hard issuer, Bank of America or one of those. I mean, I think it's getting harder and harder with them. RC, I would understand the criticism of City Nights if it was some random time that nobody eats out, like breakfast on a weekday. But it's the 2 nights people are most likely to eat out and spend the most money, right? I mean, so yeah, that's how it makes sense to me. Agree, RC. Meal delivery service flags as a restaurant, so I just place my order for the month on the Friday or Saturday evening. Yeah, I mean, it works great. DM and my, okay, Cesar says, new again. I have Chase card and I get lots of Chase points. For me, Amex number 1, Citi number 2, and Chase number 3. Would you ever thought that there'd be this many people who are putting Citi above Chase or even Capital One? I mean, Citi rebranded them. They did good. They made themselves relevant. Now, they're not going to be talked about as much because, like I said, they don't market in the same way through like creators and stuff. They just don't. But I think if you look objectively at them, they're very good, especially with American. And double City Nights has even more forgiving times on the West Coast in Hawaii. Yeah, I mean it just works. All right, so all I had left was just to tell y'all a little bit about our trip. We had a fun time. On the left there, that's a picture of us in business class on Condor. Condor business class is fun. It is quirky. We met some great folks who are points and miles enthusiasts in the lounge. They heard us making some content. We got a great conversation. They were on it too. They said they just wanted to try it too and booked it with Alaska points like we did. It was a great time. So if you haven't flown Condor, I've heard some people, Dugraws, I think, had a scheduling problem with them, but we had a great experience. We had outstanding service, great seats. The middle seats would be terrible if you flew solo because there is no divider. You are right up against, look how close our seats are. You are right up against a total stranger. But if you're flying as a couple, Condor, it's pretty cool. It was great. That's us on the right in Abu Dhabi. That was our first stop. In Abu Dhabi, we went to Warner Brothers World, the world's largest indoor theme park. And then on the right, Nona had to put on the right garb to get into the mosque, the Grand Mosque there in Abu Dhabi. It's kind of they're very, very strict on that. In fact, she tried to do it on her own, and the inspectors told her that didn't work, so we had to buy. It's strange, though. They have a lot of people who have to buy stuff to get in, and they sold it, and I think it was $10 for that whole outfit, so it was kind of fun. But we had a good time with it. That is in Dubai on the left. There's these traditional boats, and that cost 50 cents to ride on that little boat. And I wasn't sure it wasn't going to sink, but it was quite the experience. That was about maybe a mile and a half on the creek, the Dubai Creek there. Kind of, you could still see the Burj Khalifa right there in the background. On the right, we went to Berlin after that, flew Qatar business class, had a great time with that. Wasn't the Q suites, but still we flew on both the A350 over to Dubai and from Dubai to Doha. And then we flew on the 787-900, I think. Both of them were their kind of, older traditional business class. Still a great experience, great service. But let me tell you, because they code it first class to Doha from Dubai, we got into the Al Safwa business class lounge. Oh my. No, first class lounge. I'm sorry. I mean, I went into 102 lounges last year. I've been into lounges all over the world. I've been to Turkish lounge in Istanbul. I mean, and I was dumbfounded by the degree of opulence in this place and the restaurant. I mean, we've been in Michelin star restaurants, and I've never had a better meal than the Wagyu steak medallions and the chili roasted prawns that they brought us there. It was unbelievable. So you got to go in the Al Safwa Lounge in Doha. Unbelievable. And then we went to Berlin. So that's us standing in front of the Brandenburg Gate there in Berlin. And then back, another picture on the left is from Dubai. That's the Museum of the Future. We were staying right across the street from that. So that was our view every day to the Museum of the Future. Really a cool building. They say they have an advertisement, most beautiful building in the world. I suppose that's subjective, but it is very beautiful, especially at night. All that lights up. And then on the right, that's Nona. She's standing in front of a big, what they call a buddy bear. Those things painted all different ways are all over Berlin, kind of different. So, all right, that is all that I had for today. I was going to just mention at the end that Nona has decided that she's going to try her hand at YouTube. So she has started a YouTube channel where she's going to do all of like the food that we eat when we go places and the hotel reviews and just reviews of cities and stuff like that. And she's going to call it Away Again Travels. And we've already set up the YouTube page, but she's been editing videos. She has yet to put it up. So I'll let people know on my channel when she gets that done and gets it up, because she's kind of excited about it. So I'm still going to keep like credit card content and like airline reviews and also like lounge reviews and stuff like that on this channel. But hopefully when she gets it up and going, some of y'all at least check it out, give her a little bit of encouragement. So I'd appreciate it. And to everybody today who's supported, and just the fact that you come here and watch, whether you give super chats and all that or not, I appreciate it so much. The fact that you come here, we have 45 people in here right now. We have 34 likes. If you would, if you haven't liked it yet, if you do that, if you haven't subscribed, that helps a lot. All the super chats, I know several of you have given super chats, including DM and Joe New York Law, and then also RC. I appreciate that. And let me wrap up some of the comments here before we close. Let's see, have we done this one? Yeah, I like Andrew Nature. Good to have you here, Andrew. I really like City Nights. I use it in combination with Mileage Plus 2. Thank you for the tip. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I have so many United miles, and I never fly United. It's really weird, but it's because of the Mileage Plus X. It's amazing. It's amazing. Sleepy Rod. For me, it's Amex #1, Capital One #2, City #3. Oh boy, that puts Chase at the bottom. That's wild. All right, new again. You can get an ink. You can get an ink a year, at least 90K MR offer if you manage your Chase portfolio right. Most people neither work nor can't. Okay, I'm sure that's probably true. Double animal fries, $2. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's great support. Enjoy the live. Appreciate your perspectives. Well, I appreciate all of y'all. I mean, that I'm humbled that 45 people, 50 people would just want to hear my opinions on these things. And I do. I appreciate that. And I'm humbled by your support. Cesar, great live. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Cesar. Appreciate it. RC, excited to watch Nona's content. All right. Yeah. Away Again Travels. I'm going to try to encourage her to get that first video up so I can tell people about it. Double animal fries says, good luck to her. That's awesome. Yeah. She's awesome. So, 30 plus years of being awesome. So I'm proud of her. Memphis Mike, enjoyed the live. Thank you. Thank you, Memphis. Appreciate it. Mike Newland, thanks, RM. Thank you, Mike, for always being supportive. Memphis Mike, and new again, says if the new Amex was the new Elite, people would be hugging and high-fiving it. Yeah, so they'd be thinking, in other words, if what City did, if Chase or Amex had done it, everybody think that's great. People just don't like City. I don't know. That's all right. I like them. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the super chats, super stickers, all your support, and for being here and for commenting. And I'll have another live next Sunday afternoon. Hopefully Away Again Travels will be up and I can tell you about it and you can go encourage her and that'd be great. Appreciate it. Thanks. Have a great afternoon.